Hello, everybody, and welcome. So good to see several of you in the chat saying hello. And welcome to the show, the online teaching show where I try to go live every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're catching me live, welcome. And you're more than welcome to say hi in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, do let me know and ask a question, or let me know that you watched the replay in the comments of the video. I just wanted to say hi to folks that came early. Thank you so much. Hey, Mary, first one here. Hey, Kathy, and we've got Zinlei, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, in South Africa. Hey, Julie in New York, and Gail in South Africa as well. Andrew's in Mexico. I did have a good weekend. Thank you so much. And yeah, actually, it's a long weekend in Thailand. There was a holiday on Friday, there's a holiday tomorrow, and there was a holiday on Saturday. So a lot of Thai people take sort of Monday off, and then they get the 6 days. So it's pretty quiet around here. A lot of people traveling. Hey, Susie. Hello. So excited for today's interview. And what I do usually on these shows is try to interview online teachers who have a story, or would be willing to come on and talk about their journey as an online teacher, to build community, but also to hear what other people are doing. And I always learn something, and I always enjoy chatting with other fellow online teachers. More recently, I've talked to people who are independent and teaching on their own. That seems to sort of be the direction that a lot of folks are taking. But I'm always interested, if you're working with a company and you're doing really well with that and enjoying it, you're welcome to reach out to me. I would love to have you on the show. So saying all that, my email address is below, and you're welcome to reach out. Sometimes I have to go out looking for people to interview. So if you want to come on the show sometime and chat about your online teaching journey, then please reach out to me. I would love to have you on the show. So my guest today is teacher Kelly Tag, and I've known her for, I would say, we were just trying to work it out, I think almost 5 years, when we were working for Vipkid, one of the big companies in China. And she has a YouTube channel, which I've linked in the description of the video. And we used to watch each other's lives when there was about a half a dozen of us that were going live regularly. And yeah, so it's really fun to have her on. She reminded me that I've had her on before, but I can't remember when or what video it was. But just give a big welcome to Kelly. So here she is. Hello. Hey, Kelly.
Hi. How are
Thanks
you?
for being here. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Great. I just turned up my big lights, but it's made, lighting is, it's always a struggle for online teachers.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this at night. I always do these at night. So sometimes when you turn up the light, if it contrasts too much, it can make things darker, I found. So anyway, hopefully you can see me good. So please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and anything you want to share about yourself.
Okay. So I'm teacher Kelly Tag. That is my channel name. I do videos all about teaching online, teaching in person. I've started doing other videos lately too. We'll get into that later. So I'm from the suburbs of DC, and I've been an online teacher for 5 years. I don't know. What else do you want to know about me?
Where do you live? You live where in DC?
Yeah, in the suburbs of DC, about an hour from DC. So
okay, I actually don't think I knew that. So okay, cool. And what online companies have you worked with over the years? And when did you get started with online teaching?
A lot. Let's see. Okay, so I started with, actually, I got hired with GoGoKid and Vipkid around the same time. Started with GoGoKid, then I think a week and a half, 2 weeks later, Vipkid. And I actually put up slots for both and ended up getting booked first with Vipkid, and then that ended up being my main company. I kept GoGoKid around and still work there sometimes, but I've done a bunch of other like small companies here and there, but I also have done Outschool, independent teaching, Budbee. I'm sure I'm missing some. Cambly.
Magic Ears. Were you ever with them?
I never did Magic Ears. Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, so I was with Vipkid mainly, and then GoGoKid, Magic Ears, and also got hired on with Cambly. and another one as well. Oh, Zebra English. That was the last one. Yeah, those were the days, huh, Kelly? Those were fun days. And I really felt like, I mean, I was doing YouTube since the beginning of 2018 when I got hired with Vipkid and did a lot of sort of recruiting focused videos, but it was so fun to like see other Vipkid YouTubers that were popping on and just chatting about their schedule and, how the teaching day was. And I used to just enjoy it. I don't know. It was like, and it was always evening for me. It was sort of, instead of Netflix, I was watching, you and Evelyn and Danny, and she's not doing as much with online teaching now, but I still see the odd video from you guys, so it's really fun to have you on. So what? Okay, so you were working with Vipkid was your main company, right?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about like before Vipkid, because you had an interesting job. I'd love for people to hear about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my first career was actually video media. I worked for like a political news station. And then even started freelancing when I had kids for like, a video company that does video lectures. It's kind of teaching and video. And I actually still do that to this day. I just don't freelance for them as much. But yeah, so that was my first career before doing teaching.
Okay. So, were you like the person like behind the camera and stuff like that as well?
Yes.
Or
filming? Yes. So the technical
for radio
parts of things.
Or news?
For TV.
For TV, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's just say, I don't want to say the name of the company, but you would know it if I said it. Yeah.
Okay.
You would know it. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. So then why online teaching? Like, how did you go from that into online teaching? What was the reason you decided to get into online teaching?
Well, actually, at the time, I really, really, really needed a job working from home. My daughter was really sick and I had a lot of doctor appointments. So I needed my days free. I needed something that was flexible, that I could do from home. And I needed to bring in money because the doctor bills were pretty high. So I had heard about Vipkid. I think I first saw an ad and was curious, but was like, that seems like it might be a scam. Right. And then started hearing about people who actually work there. I think maybe a Facebook group or something like in my local area that people were. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's legit. And then, started watching videos, heard more about it and thought, oh, this would be so perfect. You can make money. It's in the morning. You have your days free. And I was trying to do like other flexible jobs, that freelance job, but I was substitute teaching too, but like still even with those kind of flexible jobs, like then I had to plan my doctor appointments around when I was working. So it was so nice. I remember when I first started working for Vipkid and like you would work only in the morning. Then I'm trying to schedule a doctor appointment and like any day I had free because I was only working in the morning. And then so that was the main reason, but then I did fall in love with teaching from Vipkid, even though my original reason for doing it was just because I needed a job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think most of us thought, wow, this is like too good to be true. It was like pretty decent money for not doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
From home, super flexible, it was really good. And then so you also started doing YouTube. Like how did that happen? Why?
Let's see. Well, I don't know. I saw a lot of ESL teachers doing YouTube. I kind of have always wanted to do YouTube, even though I got into doing behind the scenes. Like when I was going to school for it, I wanted to be in front of the camera and I wanted to like be an anchor, be a reporter. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actress. It just is kind of harder to break into that than it was behind the scenes, is why I ended up doing it that way. But, I've always kind of wanted that. And then, so I did YouTube just because I like being on camera. I've always enjoyed video, which is why I ended up in video. Even my uncle always tells me, like, you were always the one with the video camera at family events, you know? So I just, and then I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but I did make my channel, like, I made it private for like 5 months, and I never missed doing YouTube more than when I couldn't do it. So happy my
Right.
channel is public again.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. That's so great. And yeah, I'm like the opposite. I never wanted to be on video. I always felt I was so awkward, and I always hated seeing myself like played back or hearing myself. So it's funny, like when I got into online teaching, you kind of have to be comfortable with it, right? Even if you're
yes.
not. I've helped so many people get into the industry that's what a lot of them struggle with at first, is like, I just don't know if I want to be comfortable, or if I'm going to be comfortable on camera. And so that's just sometimes a hurdle for people to get over. But sounds like you kind of had the knack for it, or the desire to be, which is probably most people watching don't always have that. So that's pretty cool. And then YouTube is, you can have your own show, right? You can be the
Right.
star of your own world. Talk about whatever
Right.
you want. Yeah, that is pretty cool. It was scary. I remember putting my first video out, and I thought, no, and then I just like immediately privated it, and then like a couple days later I thought, no, I can do this, I'll just make it public. And it's funny how now, like with so much experience, we just pop them out like nothing. I mean, I think I've done over 200 videos so far. So
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised to hear you say that, because you always seem so comfortable on camera. I've never would have guessed that. So if anyone is watching and you're afraid
go
to be
back
on
to the old
camera,
videos.
yeah, Tim does it, and he was afraid at first. So
That's right. Yeah. And then it was a totally different style of doing video when I started doing live shows, because that was like, I think I was so intrigued by the idea of it, but then it was also so scary because you're live and all your mistakes are heard and you can't edit. And if I don't have a guest on, as I said to you before, I enjoy having guests on more because they can do most of the talking. But when I'm doing a live show on my own, it really is, I mean, you've got to imagine that people are watching and sort of keep the flow going. So it's a whole skill set on its own. But if anyone's interested in YouTube, anyone can do it.
It's like a radio show almost, where you have to just keep talking, even though people can see you. You have to keep talking. I mean, what I usually do, if anyone's seen my lives, is like I used to read Vipkid's like newsletter, and a lot of people like that. So like, oh, I never read those. I'm glad you read them to me. Or if Outschool puts out like an email, I will read those, or I'll have topics. But yeah, it is a little bit like people are talking in the chat, but you're talking to yourself. So it is sort of harder in that way, but I prefer lives. For a long time, I like only went live every week. I actually hate to edit, which I know I'm in the video industry, but I did mostly like live TV, or I always do the pre-production side. Even the freelance one I do now it's not live, but like I'm working on the camera side, or I'm doing teleprompter or audio or something, and then it gets sent off to someone else for editing. So like editing was even though I work in that field, editing was never something I had to do. I kind of like, once I'm done with it, I don't want to think about it. So I love live streams because I don't have to edit, but I'm trying to do more edited videos now. I'm making that my goal because I do want to grow my channel. So.
And what about short form video? Because that's really popular now, right? I mean, every app is just pushing I don't know about you, but I can get sucked into just watching those 15 to 45-second videos, right? That's just how everyone's consuming content now. Yeah. Do you need to have a long-term plan before you start? No, but you need to, are you talking about YouTube, Mary? I would say you need to, have an idea of what you want to have your channel about. And, there's a lot of videos out there you could watch about how to think of a channel topic, but really just talking about what you're excited about talking about and passionate about. Because if you're not excited and passionate about it, or you think, oh, my channel's going to do well if I talk, my channel's going to do well if I talk about this niche, but it's not really something you're knowledgeable about, then you won't last. So yeah, I mean, for me, it was easy because I was helping people to get hired with VIP Kid. So I just talked about life as a VIP Kid teacher, right? Just things like that. So you can think about maybe you're into gardening and you want to have a gardening channel. Our friend Danny, I mean, she has her teaching channel, but then she's also it's gardening, right? That she does, or
Yes,
just
gardening
outdoor stuff.
and pool. Actually, her
Pool stuff,
pool
yeah.
videos do the best because most people, especially like the old over 25, they watch YouTube like, how do you do this? And
That's right.
so her pool videos, like how to clean a pool, end up doing like really, really well. Yeah.
That's so interesting. So let's get back to the teaching stuff. Now,
Yeah.
obviously you were affected by things in 2021 with the crackdown in China. Just like, if you can, bring yourself back to that moment and like what was going on for you in your online teaching when that all happened, like, and then what happened afterwards.
Okay, so actually, before that all happened, I started working for Outschool in 2020. And
Okay.
that was a great time to get into Outschool because literally all of a sudden everybody was at home. A lot of the schools, my own kids were in schools, they all of a sudden had to be online and didn't know what to do. I know pretty much they gave work, but like it wasn't even required. Like pretty much they weren't doing anything.
Yeah,
So a lot of
that's
people
right.
were turning to online, and Outschool was just booming. And then Outschool put out something like, we need to hire 5,000 teachers. So I was in that wave where they were just like hiring everybody. Like they made the restrictions so much more strict and how to get in, like even a few months after I'd been there. So I was so glad I got in when I did. And it was the time when you could just put up a class and it would book. You could put up a class 2 days later, it would book. It was great. So like I had already started at that time. I'm like, why would I do VIP Kid anymore? I'm making so much more money at Outschool, and a lot of teachers were. So I had already started transitioning over to Outschool when we heard that it might happen. So
Right.
I was lucky I already had something else. But I have to say, when they told us, oh, you only have like 2 more months or something like that, I did like open my schedule, fully, because I wanted to like have those couple last months with my kids. So it actually got crazy because I was doing VIP Kid, like not full time, but the many hours I used to do. And I was teaching at Outschool. Plus I have other few odd jobs. So those last 2 months though, I did hit it hard.
Yeah. So Outschool was really a savior for you to sort of keep
Was.
teaching online when did you lose you would have lost your job with GoGo Kid, but with VIP Kid, did you keep teaching for a little while, or did you just teach a little bit or not at all?
I kind of cut back, but then you'd get the priority booking requests, so sometimes I'd give in to those.
Yeah.
Kind of glad I did, because I still have, when everything went away, I didn't pursue independent teaching so much because I did already have Outschool, but I did have one of my former students who asked me to keep teaching them, and I still teach her to this day. So I'm so glad that I didn't completely cut it off, because I still have her. Yes. So, we just do it through Zoom, PayPal, talk through WeChat.
Easy. That's great.
Yes.
So you've just got one independent student. You're not looking for more.
Yeah, not really. And I wasn't even looking before, since I did have Outschool. And there were a few other VIP Kid students that like consistently booked me from the time I started, and I had for a long time, that I thought I would continue with, but I only ended up continuing with this one. So.
Okay. Well, it worked for you, right? You kind of.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And so what are you, okay, I wanted to talk about like your classroom teaching stuff and how you moved into that. So when did that happen, and how has it been?
Okay, so I would say slowly but surely, after like 2020, Outschool was hot. It was a little less hot, but still going pretty great in 2021. And slowly, more people went back to school. The bookings started going down. It didn't dry up. There's still a lot of people that teach there now. But I was at a point where starting to make a little less at Outschool, but also had some bills come up. I needed some more money. The economy started tanking. So like you need more money just to live. I needed a new car. I am at a point where like my kids are older teenagers, so I kind of can. It was a good time in my life to go back to a full-time job. And since I had been teaching online, video jobs require you to go in the city, work summers. I thought, let's go into teaching. And since there were teacher shortage, it's not hard. I ended up finding a job in the middle of the year. So I started right after Christmas this past year. I was teaching history and civics at Outschool. So that's what I went for when I started doing teaching jobs. Those of you who first started in the classroom and went to online teaching, you already know this. But I realized that the subject you're actually teaching is such a small part of the job. It's managing a classroom and it's a lot. So I went.
Whereas with online teaching, it is the job, right?
Right.
It's everything.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a shift because you can turn it on and turn it off, and all you're doing is teaching the student. Whereas, with your brick and mortar job, it's a fraction. So sorry, keep going.
Right. No, and it's the grading and all. Like it's a lot. So I was the third teacher that year. They had one that quit after 2 months. They had a long-term sub until they had me. So that should give you an indication of what I was walking into.
Okay. They had a long-term sub before you.
Yes. And I mean, I think he would have kept doing it. He actually moved to a different classroom, like a math class at the same school. But anyways, I can't, obviously this is a public platform, so I can't go into too much detail, but let's just say it was rough. It was really rough. So anyways, my goal was just to get to the end of the year because I had heard that like if you quit in the middle of the year, they blacklist you and you can never, I don't know if it's that county or the whole state, like you can never work as a teacher again. So I was just like, I just got to get to the end of the year and then I'll do something else. So anyways, I have a video on my channel about how I did, what was it? I think 20 interviews for 17 jobs. So yes, that means I had more than one interview for certain jobs. So it's like a vlog of me going on all these interviews. But I am now going into special ed preschools, something totally different. I'm going to one county north of me, which pays better. So get this, not only does it pay better, but I get an email just a few days ago that's like, hey, we want to stay competitive and we're giving you a raise. So it's like, I got a raise before I even started. I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a great start.
Yes.
We all like money, a little bit extra money.
Yeah.
So it was needless to say, like it sounded like a rough year. And did you think like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, or what were you going through to then take another position? Did you just feel like maybe you just needed a different like section of teaching that you would enjoy more, or would be less stressful?
Yes. I know some people are making bank at Outschool. I wasn't making I was working there part-time, and then to try to build up, it'd be hard just to go back to online teaching. Maybe my YouTube will eventually get monetized and I can quit.
Yeah.
But if you watch my vlog of me doing all the job interviews, I did go on some video jobs too.
Okay.
Yes, I actually ended up getting an offer. Now I'm giving away like towards the end of my video. I'm telling you the end of the story. I did end up like getting an offer from one of the video companies, but it's like, you have to weigh everything. Yes, it did pay more, but like I have to go into the city, more for gas. I have to work summers. So anyways, I thought I'd try a different age group first and stay in teaching. But, if I don't like it this year, maybe I will try something totally different, or if YouTube could get monetized and I do a combination of that and teaching like you do, maybe that would be.
Yeah, something. I think that's the thing when you've kind of, you've got like your student and you've got the experience with online teaching, it can be these little side things that I think so many people have now in addition to their main job. So maybe there's other people that are like wanting to do the opposite transition that like I get a lot of people reaching out like I want to quit teaching, but maybe there's people that are like, okay, and look, I've gone through this too. I've thought, how long can I do this? Like, because I was a teacher before. I taught in international schools, and so I could apply to a school here in Bangkok and one of the American schools or something like that. I'm not doing that yet, but it's crossed my mind. So I don't know what advice or maybe advice. I don't know if you have advice, but like,
I
what
do.
would you say? Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Well, okay, so I would give this advice whether you're a career switcher or you're like a first time, like you're going to college for teaching.
Yeah.
I would substitute teach in the grade level and the subject that you want to do, because then you get an idea of what it's like before you're in it. With me being a career switcher, I wasn't, and so what they do, especially now with like teacher shortages, is they say like, okay, we're going to let you teach, and then you have so long to actually get licensed. So I could just say, okay, now I decided middle school history is not my thing, so I could try something else. But like other teachers I worked with, I'm like, well, why don't you try something else if you don't like it here? Because my school did have a lot of behavior problems throughout the whole school, which is why it was rough.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I'm only certified for middle school, whatever it is, history, English. So then you're stuck. If you did all your schooling for just that, and that's what you went into, you're stuck. So if you could do some kind of, you could sub at a whole bunch of different schools, you could be a long-term sub. So you really get an idea, is this something I really want to do before you actually have the job? And a lot of sub jobs in my county, I don't know if, like, they'll let you sub when you're like 18 or be a KRS. Yeah. So you just need a high school diploma. So you can do that before you even go to the college, try it before you buy it type of thing. See if you like doing it before you actually do all the money to get certified and get the job.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, I'm sure I have opportunities to sub if I wanted to add that into my things, but I just don't.
Right. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
If I don't have to, I don't want to.
Right.
But yeah, so okay, cool. So what are you doing now? I mean, it's summer break, obviously. Mm-hmm. And what do you have plans? I don't know, for your YouTube channel or for work stuff or online teaching or whatever. What do you have plans for coming up?
Yeah, so this summer hasn't been like super relaxing, unfortunately.
Okay.
I've been so busy. If you watch that video about me doing all those interviews, that took up a lot of time. I did summer school, which I would not have even done summer school had I known I was going to go on all those interviews.
Right.
I did have one vacation, so at least I had that. But like, I'm on a medication that makes me really sensitive to the sun, so I got terrible sunburns. So that,
oh dear,
the vacation was fun in some ways, but that part wasn't it. Let's see. Oh, okay, good. Well, I'm glad I'm giving people idea. In Canada, there's a waiting list of certified teachers for subs. Wow. Because
I'm Canadian, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that's not the case in America at all. Like, they're begging. There's teacher shortage, there's a sub shortage, like everything shortage, especially subs.
Wow.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, you were asking what I'm doing. So for this class I'm taking, it's special education. I found out I have to take like a very specific class before I start working. So all of a sudden I had to take a class that I didn't know I would have to take. So I had that going on. And then school, I think I just finished all my work for that class and I have like a week and a half till we're about to start. So my YouTube channel, I actually have a lot coming out this week because, I'm going to go back to school soon, so I won't have time to do it all. So actually at the top of the hour, I don't want to say a time because everyone's in different time zones. At the top of this hour, I have a premiere coming out about special education. Again, just when you're on YouTube, talk about what's going on with you. I'm doing special education. I have a video coming out about that. So recently, my channel kind of took an unexpected turn. all the advice you get from all the YouTubers who talk about how to start a YouTube channel and stick to a niche. So I kind of went off topic. There's been a lot, if you watch like a lot of shows and YouTube channels talking about cults lately. So I had my own cult story to talk about. So if you go to my live streams, I talked about that. And then all of a sudden, I also joined like a group for ex-members of this cult. I'd moved on and forgotten about it, but it got me curious. So I started interviewing people. I have another video on my channel. I interviewed 2 people of a website about the cult. But like this coming Wednesday, I have an interview with someone who he grew up in that church. He made a podcast, and those videos are getting a lot of views, which tells me there's a need in that area of ex-members. They want a place to talk about it. So I'm like, go where, if people are that interested, let's keep talking about it. And then I have another video along the online teaching on Wednesday morning my time. I'm in Eastern. I have I'm interviewing Elizabeth McMahon. She has kind of a Christian Outschool. So it's a platform, but it's Christian based, called Teach Me Truth. I interviewed her like last year when she was first starting the company. So we're going to do like an update. Oh, cool. So if you are interested in either working for her company or you're interested in classes that are Christian based, that's Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So those are the things coming up on my channel this week. And then another person from that cult church I was in on Thursday. So all of a sudden my channel's taking a turn I wasn't expecting. I'm not sure if I'll completely pivot my niche, or for now I'm doing both. But
I think your channel is growing, but it's small enough that it won't make a huge, it's not like if you have like, I don't know, like 100,000 subscribers and you've talked about farming for the, and then all of a sudden you talk about like scuba diving, that would be a hard turn, but I think you probably still have opportunity to shift, and people are interested in it. I mean, I was telling you before the show that I get sucked into, I'm a big true crime person. I love watching, well, I shouldn't say big true crime person, but I love watching true crime videos, people dissecting cases, and it's just so fascinating. You just hear a different perspective. And it's like as simple as like what you were talking about earlier with your, doing the VIP Kid and Go-Go Kid newsletter. I mean, it sounds so boring, but actually like I enjoyed it because it's a different perspective. Like you would give your opinion sometimes along with it, right? We all could read the email, but if another teacher's like, will sort of say something that makes you think, oh yeah, I didn't think of it like that, or that's maybe why, or so. Yeah, I enjoyed those.
Yeah, actually, I got a lot of comments like that. People were like, I like the fact that you not only read it, but I like the fact that you discuss it. And I don't officially, like not an official spokesperson for any of these companies. So I could say my opinion, whether I agreed or disagreed. But
hearing what's in your head, right? With something like, I mean, it's like, I love commentary type YouTube channels because you get to hear different perspectives. So you never know, you might become like a cult, it doesn't sound the right way of saying it, but like a channel that talks about, people that have come through that, and like a support thing and stuff like that. So never know. Cool. So you've got lots going on. I'm just looking here in the chat here. Daycare to teach your aid. That could be a path before starting college too, and discovering if you like it. Yeah. Why not? Absolutely.
Great idea.
For sure. Yeah. So I've put your YouTube link into the chat there, and it's also in the description of the video if anyone wants to check out Kelly's videos. I think you're great on camera too.
Thank you.
You have a great way of presenting things. So you won't be disappointed if you head over to her channel. And she just hit 500 subscribers.
Yay.
So that's really cool. Let me see. You're at 501 now.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
Somebody subscribed.
Good.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kelly. Was there anything else that we didn't talk about? We're a little over time. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think we did. I think we covered it all.
Cool. What do you have on for the rest of the day?
Well, my daughter's coming home from a trip later today. So that's the major thing. Yeah, I can't wait to see her.
Where has she been?
Ohio. She just went with a friend
Okay.
who was visiting family and wanted company. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Well, we'll let you go again. Thank you so much for coming on, and it was great to see you again.
Thanks. You too. Thanks for having me on.
See you, Kelly. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Great. Thanks again, Kelly, for coming on. Thanks all of you for watching. I see we had between 15 and 20, so thanks. And if you're still here and you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. It helps the channel. It's free. You'll get notified when I go live and things like that and make new videos. And if you can hit the like button, it tells YouTube to put this video on other people's feeds, which I would appreciate. So thanks again, everyone, for joining. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, whatever you're doing. And if you have any questions about online teaching, my inbox is open. You're welcome to email me or find me on Facebook and send me a message. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.